absolutely encourages you to do the good things like good controls, encourages you to do good insulation, you know, good sort of household practice, but it very much also encourages you to look at, well, hang on a minute now, this is an opportunity. So the scheme kicks off from 1st of June 2011, that's when the payments will commence, but any installations that are going in from now on will be eligible for those payments. And the final sort of arrangements as to how payments will be made, the value of them, as I say, will be issued by the UK government, said by the end of this year. I've brought Alan along because in order to access the renewable heat incentive payments, you've got to use what's called MCS accredited equipment, and MCS stands for Microgen Certification Scheme Equipment. Simple reason for that is it's to stop the kind of cowboy equipment, cowboy installations, and you've also got to have an MCS accredited installer to actually put the equipment in. Without those two pieces of the jigsaw being in place, you will not receive renewable heat incentive payments. The piece of equipment that you see here, as I mentioned, is an in-house, in-room piece of equipment. It's sitting just now on a pallet, so you kind of, it also looks quite big, but you've got to imagine it's sitting on the floor and built into a fireplace or sitting as, you know, in a room. It provides obviously, well, it will provide, I say, hot water and also a fire picture. It's MCS accredited. The piece of equipment shown on this brochure here, which is this one here. If you imagine that black box being substituted for this, this piece of equipment is currently going through MCS accreditation and should be accredited this side of Christmas, which is a standalone boiler. That's the same one here in this photograph here. So, rather than me droning on, what I've tried to do is really set the scene around why we should be looking at this, and what the sort of monies are going to be like potentially for you here. I'll really introduce Alan to kind of talk through some of the things he's brought here and specifically talk about the different types of products, the pellets, you know, where they come from, how they're made and how the equipment uses them, and then, you know, hopefully you've got a chance to practically kind of see, you know, the way it works and ask any questions. Is that okay? Okay, Alan.
Okay. Well, first I'd like to say I'm near a public speaker. neither's Geordie. We're the guys that turn up at the doorstep with the toolboxes and the boiler seats on. So I will answer any questions you've got about how this works. This is actually an installation I've got from the old drafty old farmhouse. I've been in for a year now. I'm working with the right pellets. Took a couple of samples along the day. Sample ash this unit produces. It's 0.5% ash that can look at pellets. I'll answer any questions you're looking to put to you. As for standing up and speaking to you. Feel free to fire any on.
Well, it's maybe worth saying this burner unit almost works in the same way as a little package burner works in a typical oil boiler just now. The good thing about this design is that there's different types of equipment and different types of technology really you can potentially go for. The attraction potential of this particular boiler type, and you get many different types, is this is quite a simple type of boiler. It's almost akin to the kind of old analogue kind of controls in your old gas boiler of kind of 15-20 years ago, when the only thing used to go was a pump and a thermocouple. And it's got a little this burner just lifts out. So it's built and manufactured in Finland. And the problem is in Finland that if your boiler breaks down, it's not just an inconvenience, it's potentially life-threatening in the middle of winter time. So it's purposely built to be a pretty simple device, but a very highly efficient device. Because of the nature of putting something in as a multi-use room heater, the Winhager device, which is what John is beside, is a bit more complicated, but from that perspective can be integrated into an existing system pretty well and can be very easily controlled. This can as well, but this is more of a kind of industrial type piece of equipment that would more happily sit in a garage or a utility room, whereas obviously, you know, this is actually a cracking piece of equipment that actually would be able to sit and provide hot water and heating for your house. And say fully automatic, you know, it's not a case now of getting up in the morning and get the stove going fast. This can be literally turn itself on and off and automatic on a time control. It's worthwhile maybe coming across here and maybe sort of looking at effectively what you've got in here is a boiler but also a fire. What you will see through here is a fire picture. Now, one of the other communities that had put in for Green Streets funding is a community based up in Kinusay, and the chap, Donny Grant, actually has one of these installed in his house, not this particular model but a very similar one, an Italian one, and he's actually put a YouTube video on the net showing one of these working and him sort of talking around it. So what I'll do is I'll send a link to Karen for that, and then if she can circulate that, you'll actually see him talking passionately about this particular device and how easy he finds it and how it's worked for him. Because obviously you're looking at this now, you know, with it not running, but normally you'd see a fantastic, you know, beautiful flame picture in there, and you'd be getting, you know, what's the mix of heat between heat going into hot water and heat coming out of the fire itself?
It's kind of unusual, I
3 or 4 kilowatts, I think.
I think it's about 4 kilowatts.
Yeah, I think it's 4 kilowatts coming, so that'd be typical for a, say, your stove, Jan, that's about sort of 4 kilowatts. So if you imagine 4 kilowatts coming into your room, and this is rated at 12 kilowatts, 15 kilowatts, 12. And the balance of that, so say 8 kilowatts going into your hot water radiators and hot water for your showers and taps. And in the summertime, what you can also do is you can put a plate in front of this, and what it does then, it diverts most of that 3 or 4 kilowatts just into hot water. So that stops, you know, you're not going to run this obviously when your room's warm, but you still also want hot water. And these devices can also be integrated into, if you get solar thermal panels, so you can incorporate solar thermal panels into and configure it potentially with those as well. So that's probably all that I initially want to say. But I think there's merit if you come up on a wee look, seeing kind of around it, asking questions, and getting a feel for some of the bits and pieces. Pellets themselves, a couple of choices. Obviously, you're in a unique location here. You're on an island, but in many ways, if you think of pellets as in the same way as you think of coal, that's exactly the way pellets can be handled. You can either receive them bagged like this. You can receive them in 1 ton bags in the same way as you get sand and cement, and then you obviously want to put them into some sort of silo for storage. You can manually load these. You manually load these with these bags, or this model can be adapted so that literally a couple of hose connections fit in the back, leading to outside of your house, and they actually pull the pellets down from a store outside. So you can have either a manual loading type system, or you can have them sort of fully automatic from outside. As I say, what you've got to focus on is you know, say this is, for argument's sake, £10,000 installed in your house. You will be paid for the next 15 years, you know, a sum of probably £18,000 to £2,000 a year to run one of these for 15 years, index linked. So as inflation goes up, your payments will go up. So you know, if you think in the first you know, 5 or 6 years you're kind of paying back the cost of it, but then after that you've got a period of whatever 8 or 9 years of it effectively providing you free heating for your house.
Just a quick question on that with the heat deeming.
Yep.
And I'm here on whether or not if you've got a room heating system,
yeah,
and you know maybe it's linked to your hot water tank as well, but if it's just a room heating system as opposed to